Welcome to the Earn Interest Podcast, the business school for the culture. This is your host, Pedro Moore, serial entrepreneur and venture capitalist. This is the podcast for commentary, conversation, and practical tips on all things business, startups, and entrepreneurship for those looking to chase after their dreams. Let's get into it. Welcome to another episode of Earn Interest, the business school for the culture. This is your host, Pedro Moore, serial entrepreneur and venture capitalist, here with my executive producer, Mr. Ringle himself.
Hello. Happy to be here on this beautiful day.
And behind the scenes, who's making us look gorgeous and sound great, Mr. Joe.
Yeah, he's making one of us look gorgeous. But it's okay. I'm not going to say which one. I'll leave that up to the viewers.
Let me just...
Yeah, I like the Eagles thing though. It's, people know I'm a Cowboys fan, but I love the vintage Kelly Green Philadelphia Eagles. That's too cool.
Yes.
So I feel like I haven't talked to you since the last episode. Like, what's been up? It's been a lot of stuff going on this week in the news. We're going to touch on a couple of those things. I know we're the not WNBA, but the
LSU.
LSU and Iowa just played. That was a big thing for viewers. I feel like you might have something to say about that. But also, just in general, there's been some pretty things going on around WNBA sales or value, and does this help and hurt? So I think it got some cool things. But just overall, what's it been like since the last episode? Like, what you been up to?
Yeah, man. So things have been going great. Had a couple of speaking engagements.
Yeah.
And also
Where did you speak on?
Raising capital.
Yeah.
That's one of helping entrepreneurs accessing capital. I mean, that's the capital is the lifeblood of. We talked about it earlier behind the scenes. I feel like we should also have a behind the scenes podcast because we be having some deep conversations. But yeah, so it's been great. As you know, I got a 2-month-old now.
Yeah.
So life been life, and with that, so I run on E every day.
Did you open them up a savings account or
I did get some life insurance. You know what I mean? I am working on getting him a 529 plan for college.
Yes.
I got my other one already. So I just haven't had time to set that part up.
Yeah.
But I'm getting it done.
For people that don't know what that is, tell the listeners and the viewers what that is.
So simply put, it's a package of stocks that you put money towards to help your child save for college.
Mm-hmm.
Simply put. So if you put X amount of dollars, you got to of course keep doing it over the years. Sure. But the idea is that pot of money that you invested grows, so that way you can put it towards a college. The only thing is, we all know that college is probably going to be like $2 million for the first semester by the time our kids get up there. But
I got one going to college.
Yeah. So she may be able to skip that bill right. Well, no, it's still expensive today, but by the time
not $2 million, not $2 million.
Oh man, and most of that goes towards real estate. Mm-hmm. Which is ridiculous. Not towards education. Yeah, this is a sidebar, but I remember when I was in school, the teacher pulled out one of those, those projectors where you put like the little clear sheet on top of that, right? And I'm like, sir, we're in the year 2000s. And where's my tuition money going towards, right? So anyway, and I'm paying all this money, and you pulling out like a 1970 projector, But anyway, everything's been going great. Just getting out there, building the business, building the brand, and so I'm excited to talk about today's main topic, which is basically how to get a celebrity on your cap table. But before we even get into that, man, have you heard about Buffalo Wild Wings getting sued?
Nah, you was talking about it a little bit offline, and I was just like, wait, why everybody getting sued right now? So I always think about somebody being sued. Like, you got a friend who just graduated from law school, and you just looking for something.
Yeah.
So tell me about it.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same way because simply put, there's a guy out in Chicago who's suing Buffalo Wild Wings. For false advertising for boneless wings, since he's basically arguing the fact that they're not wings, they're chicken nuggets. Which is funny too, because
hilarious. My
son, my 5-year-old, loves chicken nuggets, but he won't eat boneless wings.
Right.
And we're like, bro, they're the same thing. They're just shaped slightly different. But we talked about a little bit offline. That's a bold thing to do, because suing costs money.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know, and if you lose, you paying a lot of money for a lot of money. So, but yeah,
How much is he suing for?
It didn't. I didn't see a dollar amount.
Okay.
Because I was looking for that. I didn't see a dollar amount. He's also, for what I heard too, is I think trying to go after Hefty and a couple other big brands as well. So it sounds like this guy's trying to retire.
Aren't hefty enough?
Probably, probably. You know, this bag is not carrying all this trash. You know,
right?
But when I saw that, I immediately thought of the lady from McDonald's who was able to retire. Retire handsomely because they didn't have that. I think it was a caution sticker or something like that.
About the hot coffee or something like
that. Yeah. So I think he's trying to try his luck with that. And get an early retirement as well. I'm not sure how it's going to go, but I guess we shall see.
Yeah, you know, I feel like I see a lot of that, especially now with social media, because everybody has a platform now, and really for a lot of them, it's kind of like a win-win for them, because if you lose, if they don't countersue you and you lose, you just kind of walk away with nothing, but you get more press. You probably get a book out of it. You get a whole bunch of TV spots. Everybody's following because they want to know who's this guy that sued them. So you wind up getting all these other things. It's kind of like when people, and you know, I don't want to say people be lying, but if somebody accuses somebody of something, right, with very little precedence or very little evidence, you kind of still win, because now that person is tarnished no matter what the outcome is, and you get all these press spots and all this attention now, right?
Yeah.
So it's weird that somebody would spend their time just figuring out what companies can I sue, right? It's like, it's wild to me. And if they win, imagine what presidents have said. That's the bigger thing.
And you know, if he does win, that has to change for everybody,
exactly.
right? Because I mean,
Everybody
it ain't like Buffalo Wild Wings is the one that created the boneless wing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That means Domino's, your mom and pops, your whoever else. It got to change. Remove that off the or change the name on the menu.
Yeah, it's interesting. But I feel like there's clearly enough difference between the two that one is a nugget and one is a boneless wing. Usually boneless wings, unless they're popcorn chicken, because then popcorn chicken can be argued to be nuggets. If depending, so it depends on like what's considered a nugget, what's considered a wing. Did it come from the wing? So the specificities, I think, are really going to be interesting. And if this even goes to trial, right? This might just get thrown out. And I hope it does, because it seems a little bit ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
It's a little wild. But
I will say, though, I don't think Buffalo Wild Wings is scared, because they put out a tweet that said, it's true. I'm sorry. It says, our boneless wings are white meat chicken. Our hamburgers contain no ham. And our buffalo wings are 0% buffalo. So they're ready. They ain't scared.
I love that.
Yeah,
shout out to them. That's a savage move, yo. They lawyer up, idiot. Like, that's hilarious.
Yeah. That's what it seems like.
I feel like we need to put a little poll on the Earn Interest Instagram and do it on Spotify, because you can do polls there. Is there a difference between chicken nuggets and boneless buffalo wings? Is there a difference?
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. But yes, I think so it'll be interesting to see how this pans out over time.
I want to know who this person is. Like, it does, and I guarantee this is cultural or regional. I guarantee it's a white person. There's no way somebody who looks like us is doing that. Have you seen him?
No. That's the other thing too. I don't even have.
You don't have his name?
I want to say
Joe, can you look him up? Who's this guy? Who's the guy suing Buffalo Wild Wings?
Because also too, you got to think about it. You got to have a couple coins.
You got to have a couple
to start
coins.
Off with.
100%.
You got to have a couple coins,
especially if you're going after a big company,
big brand like that.
That can really stretch it out in litigation if they want.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you could not go to trial for 5 years.
Oh, absolutely.
With this type of company.
Absolutely.
Our illustrious video producer is he's gonna look it up for us. He's white though, right? I can guarantee he's white. I bet everybody $1 Mortimer. This guy's white. Oh, no picture?
That's one thing I noticed too.
He also sued mouthwash and the hefty bag and granola bars.
Granola bars?
And now they said Insider said he's just being annoying.
Yeah. He said everybody can get it.
This is probably some silver spoon kid from Silver Spoons, Maryland, who, mama and daddy had money, and their granddaddy owned slaves, and he's just like, I'm gonna do what I want because he's out of pocket. But if he wins any of this, that's gonna be interesting, though.
Oh yeah, if he wins, because you said he already sued the mouthwash company or something like that. Yeah.
Did it go to trial?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Okay. All right.
But his name is Anemi Halium. Looks like this might be him.
Okay, he's definitely don't look like us.
Yeah.
I don't know what he looks like, something from the Elements movie. But all right, listen, get your money. That probably is so. See, that's why you got to have proper villain. And shout out to Joe Smith for doing the research and finding this guy. We need to put that up, Joe, on the video. We need to put that guy's picture up there. But yeah, so that's wild, yo. So yeah, if he wins, I'm gonna start suing everybody. I'm gonna find everything.
A new path to wealth. Forget entrepreneurship, right?
Exactly.
Like entrepreneurship for the birds.
I know a couple good lawyers. So
yeah,
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Forget all that.
Exactly.
This is my new path. Everybody can get it now.
That's crazy. Yo. Wow. Anyway, so you want to get into our take it or leave it? I think it's gonna be fun. So for anyone who does not live in Bikini Bottom, you probably at least heard that LSU. Beat the brakes off of Iowa. It's so funny. First Lady Dr. Joe Biden, talk about she wanted to invite them both to the White House. Did you see that?
No. I'm like, why both?
Talk about they played such a good game. They lost by 17. Like it wasn't that close of a game. But anyway, so the interesting thing is that
when does both parties ever get invited?
Never.
It's normally what?
Just
the winner.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I thought that was crazy to me.
Yeah.
So, but this is the cool thing about it, and it's going to get into our take it or leave it. 9.9 million viewers, TV ratings for the national championship women's basketball game annihilated the old record highs and averaged 9.9 million viewers on ABC and peaked at 12.6 million across all platforms. And this was bigger than last year's Cotton Bowl, Orange Bowl, and the Sugar Bowl, and it was the highest ranked basketball game on ESPN2 all year, men's or women's. So those numbers already were incredible, staggering, right? So people may not know, a lot of WNBA teams are not value high, right? But recent evaluation for the Storm, they valued the WNBA franchise at a league record $151 million, according to the Wall Street Journal report, right? Okay. So right now, the landscape of the WNBA and maybe Angel Reese, she's still the other girl. She's going back to Iowa, so she has another year. So she's not leaving anytime soon. So she'll still have her college trajectory career going this way, and I'm pretty sure that team will have more eyes on it, right? But right now, when you think of a WNBA team, rather it's a Storm or a different team, would you take it or leave it? $151 million to buy a WNBA team?
I might take it, just because of the trajectory of things, especially all the stats you just mentioned. Yeah. That just brought, because sometimes things just have to happen at mass scale to bring attention. It's like going viral with a product or something like that. And now I think this might be the beginning of the shift, because everyone was complaining about the salaries and all that type of stuff. But the bottom line is viewership, right? Sure. Bringing attention there. So this could be the seed planted to really start bringing more attention to the WNBA. And this might be a good time to invest because 10 years down the road, right? 20 years down the road, however, if that trend keep going upward like that, it can be even more valuable. Yeah. So what's your thoughts?
So it's interesting. So the valuation is about 15 times the sell price of several previous sold WNBA teams. Drastically exceeds the modest league valuations. In 2000, well, that's a long time. In 2003, the Connecticut Sun was bought for $10 million. So this is high. In 2019, looks like, who was that? I think that was Chicago, or excuse me, the Liberty spent between 10 and 14 million for the New York Liberty. So
okay, I can see the argument. It's basically 10 times the value.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and we know the WNBA has struggled to be valuable or be profitable. I should say, not valuable, to be profitable. So I think that's an interesting evaluation, 151 million.
That I mean, now with those comps, you know what I mean? It's basically 10
you
times
want to change
the.
your answer?
Yeah, let me just pull that back. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's basically 10 times, minimum 10 times, the average value of a lot of companies. So the argument will have to be, because I mean, if you ever put on an investor hat, right? You want to think anytime you put $1 into something, can you at least get 3 to 5 times that? So if I do cut a check for 150,
151 million. Yeah.
So that's 15 times really.
Yeah.
Ken, I'm gonna just say 10 because it's easy math in my head. I did not that great in math in school, so we just just call it is what it is. So in theory, you want to get 3 times that, and still, even though I think the WNBA is still growing, I don't know within that time frame you'll be able to get it. It might be a 15-year window before you get that 3 to 5 times growth on the return, and that might be not an attractive investment. So. That's why we'll track my
I thought that was a bit
take.
high, and especially we've seen other women's college basketball stars where their stardom doesn't really translate to the WNBA. I mean, remember just a hot second for a hot summer, right? But more so WNBA. Skylar Diggins was supposed to be like the next coming, right? We've had quite a few of those. That sure they were still popular, but I don't know if they really helped the WNBA go this way too much, right? Yeah. So Angel Reese, if she goes to WNBA because she making more money than the top earner right now. So she talking crazy. She all this. So for the viewers, I was doing the Tony Yayo thing that y'all try to give John Cena credit for. That is Tony Yayo. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. John Cena stole it from him. But anyway, so I just don't know if that translates. And then what's the Iowa girl named Caitlin?
I'm drawing a blank of the name, but
what's her name? Caitlin Clark. Thank you, Joe, our basketball aficionado. Caitlin Clark. She still has some more years at Iowa, so she's not going to. It's not like they're both going to the WNBA draft right now.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And women's college basketball has always been more popular than the WNBA when it comes to viewership. So it's just interesting. I'm not sure that I would spend $151 million, even if we're going to get into the topic now. If I had a celebrity on the cap table, I don't think I would want to do. I think there's a better way of me spending $151 million than on a WNBA team right now.
Yeah,
I love the WNBA.
Yes.
Shout out to them.
It's
and
Please
I think go watch the games.
And I think it's more of a question of investment strategy, not a question of the WNBA team.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so. And I believe we both agree that we're actually excited to see this.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it will draw more attention.
Yes.
It will put more salaries for the
and just revenue share is what I hope will really change, because I think anybody who's talking about they need to be paid the same as the men, you're not really paying attention. They don't generate nearly as much money.
No, not at all.
Like not even close.
And I think that even NBA kind of subsidized some of the revenue.
Of it.
Yeah, most of it.
Yeah.
So absolutely, it's.
But revenue share could be a conversation. Though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just in comparison. So if the NBA gets 23% revenue share, can the WNBA players get 23% revenue share? I don't know, maybe. But if these type of numbers matriculate over to the WNBA, then probably, right?
Yeah, I agree, especially with social media and a lot of these players, upcoming players, and even current stars, they're creating their own brand identity.
Big time.
You know what I mean? Which is drawing more people to, like one of my neighbor, the young girl, she plays basketball outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't tell me that not to say that she doesn't have a desire for basketball by itself, but representation, right? Yeah. I'm starting to see more people that look like me playing professional ball or even at the college level who look great and are doing extremely well. Yeah. So this could possibly be a path for me. Yeah. So I think it's just going to just keep exploding.
Yeah. I hope so. And more importantly, I hope that more of these other teams like the LSUs, like the South Carolinas, that they get a little bit more attention, because man, the media coverage that Caitlin Clark got, insane. I'm just like, well, what about these other programs? Like, so they ball, and LSU was like what, Joe, what 30-2 or something like that? Their record was LSU this year.
They had more losses than that, maybe 6 losses.
Oh, like 6 losses. Okay, or was that last year? I know they've been balling for a little bit.
Nah, I know
South Carolina been balling. They keep winning
They didn't lose a
championships.
game in like 2 years.
It's crazy, and they don't get nearly the coverage. They're
Mhm.
called, bar fighters and bar bouncers and all this other crazy stuff. But Caitlin Clark is like this darling. It's like, So I just hope that these type of numbers will open up for more programs like LSU and South Carolina to get some eyeballs and maybe get more NIL deals and stuff like that. So that's my hope. You know,
I think a lot of times things like this crack the code and bring more awareness and
Yeah.
show, well, at least hopefully,
yeah,
and it shows that there's other places to look at,
yeah.
and just I guess time will tell.
Time will tell. So
Yeah.
151 million. Pedro's answer is he's going to leave it.
Yeah.
He's going to leave that on the
Leave
table.
it. Yeah. I'm gonna leave that.
Yeah.
And
Even if you get the celebrities that so Pedro, you're gonna tell us how to get celebrities on the cat table. Even if you get all the celebrities you want, you're gonna say no, right?
yes, because sometimes even getting celebrities you want doesn't always equal to success.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, the ideas hope to, but it doesn't always relate to that. And kind of segueing straight into that is that this is really coming from the inspiration from the founder of I think it's Activity Black.
Yep.
He had a he was on Earn Your Leisure.
Yep.
Shout out to Earn Your Leisure. He was basically talking about how a lot of his peers who are celebrities, athletes, that they don't support his brand free of charge in a sense. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where he sees them wearing Nike,
Yep.
Gucci, or whatever it
Yep.
is,
Free of
but
charge.
free of charge,
Yep.
and he wants them to do the same. But whenever he sends them something, it's like, yeah, I love it, but I won't post it
Yep.
unless you pay me $100,000.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so the reason why I want to talk about that because
That's so
like
interesting.
it
But,
is.
and I know
it
it's
is.
I know it's the truth though.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is the truth. And but I want to also talk about kind of both sides of that. And here's the reason why. I don't want to take anything away from what he said because there is some truth to that. Because we think about a little bit of history of LL Cool J, FUBU brand, and I think somebody else did something like that too. Where just for those who may not know, because I know there might be a younger demographic, but back in the 90s, I think it was, LL Cool J had a brand partnership or endorsement from Gap, and he was in a Gap commercial, and he threw on a FUBU hat, and that catapulted the FUBU brand. And actually, I think he did something else too to kind of help promote the FUBU brand.
Yeah.
But to my knowledge, he never charged Damon John and his crew a dime for that. It
Yeah.
was more of a favor. I'm looking out for you, and so my take on that. A lot of times, I think we do need to look out or a favor, but at the same time, I take it. I'm gonna take a bar from Jay-Z's one of his songs. He talks about like
Always
set
down
your
for
price.
A Jay-Z bar. Always down for a Jay-Z
He said,
bar.
"What do you say? Set your price, live your life." So, and we at the same time always talk about, this is my price. This is I don't discount. I
Sure.
don't do no favors or whatever. But when we are asking for a celebrity to do something for free, we're kind of asking the same thing.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And the reality is that they do get a lot of products. They do get a lot of products, and they gotta pick and choose what they want to do. And so, in one respect, it's like I hear what he's saying, and there is some truth to that,
Yeah.
because you do need sometimes that celebrity endorsement to kind of help catapult your
Sure.
brand. So it's like you do need it, but in the same breath, it's like in a way you're asking them to do it for free. And are we how are we kind of positioning ourselves? Are we saying set your price, live your life, meaning that don't discount anything, or are we saying at times it is okay to do something for free?
Yeah.
Because our culture kind of gives two different
That's a good
perspectives.
point. Yeah.
And so my take is that so I kind of have three ideas to kind of help with getting somebody on your cap table. The first one is first, you want to be able to get access to that celebrity. That's number one. I mean, everything else doesn't matter unless you can get access to that
Right.
person, right?
You got any suggestions on how to get access to them?
I'm gonna say the good old fashioned networking. Good old fashioned networking. The good part is that there are a lot of celebrities who are trying to get on cap tables today, and so I think it's just a matter of what the offer is, and that's kind of the second point is what is the value for them, and you know what I mean, what is it that they're getting. And then after that, it's just more of setting the terms, and the terms is what are the deliverables? What do you want them to do? Like, is it social media posts? Is it introductions? Is it, I want that brand in a commercial like LL Cool J or a TV show or wear it out in the court or whatever. And then it's the discussion of equity in the business, because to that guy's point about 100K, 100K is a lot, even for a company that may be doing a few $1 million a year in revenue. That can hurt the bank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to be creative with it, sometimes it can be, hey, I'll give you equity in exchange for your service. And that could be a good entry point. So that way, if I'm just going to use a simple math again, because I didn't do that great. So let's just say to own equity in your business is $1 a share. But the idea is that you want to grow your business up to $10 a share. So you give that maybe a few percentage points or whatever at $1 a share in your company. And then that celebrity kind of has the mindset, I'm in it with the long run. And actually, to that point, too, I want to pause and just say, you want to make sure that that brand of that celebrity aligns with the brand 100%. Of your business.
That's what I was thinking.
Because there are a lot of entrepreneurs just say, I just want to get a celebrity. I'm like, but it don't always mix. I had one guy who was in the nutrition category focused on the runners, and he was fortunate enough to have access to a retired boxer, and that boxer was actually willing to promote the brand in exchange for equity.
Nice.
But the deal didn't happen. Why? Brand alignment, right? Yeah. His brand audience is boxing, and he's trying to really go after runners. So that's really important. So the first question is, do you support, is there some brand alignment, right? But then after that, figure out what's the value for them. And the sales pitch is, like, look, we don't got the money. We don't got the 100K.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we don't want to take money away from you, but I'm willing to give you equity in exchange for your service. And that service can be whatever you negotiate. Social media posts, right? Sure. Appearances, whatever it is, whatever you guys negotiate. And they might be more receptive to that. And think about like some celebrities are also putting their checkbook behind it too. Deadpool, right? Yeah. Ryan Allen's, right? We just talked about that. Yes, thank you. Last episode where he gets equity for service, which is being a spokesperson, and he also put some coins behind the brand too. So those are just some ideas and conversation. I wanted to bring that to the forefront because there are a lot of emerging brands, a lot of companies that are growing, and celebrity endorsement, I think, it will really help catapult these companies to the next level. But we don't got that 100K to cut. Yeah, you know what I mean. But I will say that I do think that favors are helpful. Yeah. If you do have a good relationship, because again, shouting out oh my gosh, Earn Your Leisure. Yeah. Just the other day I saw another episode. They were supporting Spurgo brand. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Smart, you know what I mean? Just and they have a huge influence. Huge. You know, right? Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that was just more of like, you my boy. Thing. Yeah, exactly. I'm looking out. Yeah. So
I think agree. So one thing for people who aren't familiar, so I'm just going to read who they are. So Actively Black is a Black-owned entity created by former professional basketball player Lanny Smith. Actively Black was created with the input and advice from friends who have experience at the highest level with Nike, Adidas, Jordan, brand, etc. Said we saw the void in representation and investment back in the communities whose culture creates the cool factor for those giant brands. So it's funny that you say the thing about them asking celebrities, but their whole thing is we're building our own table. We aren't asking for a seat at the table. But if you're asking for favors, it's kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah.
However, I'm not against asking for favors. At the same time, I feel like we shouldn't have to. I would love if some of these celebrities would get wind of what somebody's doing. And if they're doing it with excellence, if it's quality, if you see that, because don't put your brand next to anything. Exactly.
Yeah.
All those things, right? If it checks all those boxes and you believe in the brand, why not? Because,
yeah.
Beyonce on your level.
Because really, it's the bottom line is just exposure to your business, to the brand. And it does not have to be at the Beyonce. Because let's be honest, some brands may not be ready to receive the audience that comes from a Beyonce. I do I do some work with Damon John, and I vet a lot of his deals from the Shark Tank show.
Shout out to
shout out to him and his crew, the Shark Group, and especially early on with the Shark Tank show, a lot of companies are better now to be more prepared.
Sure.
But a lot of the exposure that those brands receive after appearing on the show,
they even need to get no
shut
money.
their site down.
Right.
Shut their and some of them were able to recover.
Sure.
Some of them may not been able to recover.
Wow.
So it's like, are you even prepared to receive what you're asking?
Yeah. Wow.
Right? Are you even prepared to receive what you're asking? So I love what you just said. Instead of going Beyonce, is there somebody at a lower level that still, has still that can still deliver?
Yeah,
because there's been companies that I came across who got in front of the right. And I'll say this: I know this for a fact. There are other influencers where you just got to send a product to.
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
Send a product to. It may not be Beyonce, but they have a huge following. You send a product to, and they talk about it.
Yeah.
Sales coming.
Yep. 100%.
Sales coming. So it's just more of like having that honest conversation with yourself as an entrepreneur, and just be realistic.
Yeah.
And say, like, you know what? Maybe today I can't do a Beyonce.
Yeah.
But who is around me that is a Beyonce in my arena that can help expand my reach? And then as you build, because you also got to remember too, I'm gonna step back and come from the investor celebrity type of point of view. We have celebrities, they have come across a lot of different deals, a lot of different companies, so they have to decide which one they want to pick and choose. And that's the harsh reality, because there's a lot of companies that is almost like what an investor's head is like. Some of them are just not a good fit.
Yep.
And some of them you don't want to support because you're not even sure they're going to even be around another year or two.
Yep.
So those are other, realistic conversations that we may not see it in the media, but these celebrities as well as investors have maybe behind closed doors. And to assess whether they want to support or not these type of companies.
100%. Yeah, man. I think that's a great place to put a pin in it. I think that's 100% facts. And I'm looking forward to seeing what companies or what celebrities come behind that brand, because they've been trucking along and doing pretty well right now.
Yeah.
And he's already got, he's already in that space being an ex-professional basketball. And that's the other thing. He's kind of got a leg up on a lot of regular people, because he's already been in that space.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So tell all the kids where they can find you at, Pedro.
Yes. First, thank you so much for tuning in. You can find me on Instagram, Pedro_Moore, Twitter, Pedro Moore, and of course LinkedIn. And also you can Earn Interest now has their own website, earninterest.com. You can also follow it on Instagram, Earn Interest. Thank you so much. Peace out.